Yeah, that was a long description. And I don't know. Where shall we begin? Let me hide the number of viewers because this, you don't have viewers, you do have a viewer, you don't have a viewer anymore. What is my current div? Alright, change it to 3. 2 different fragment shadows. Hello, Ghost and Alberto. I just wrote a new paragraph at the top of the description, which you can find below the video. So I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I just commit this. Can never commit too much. What is a vulkan engine? So many people join this stream, they don't even know what a vulkan engine is. It's what a vulkan engine is what I'm working on. See the title. Seriously, you just have to read the description, because that's what it really is about. I'll read it out loud. What I added today is, in order to solve the to-do below, I'll need to figure out a way to store a unique ID for a PipelineFactory / CharacteristicRange pair that the user has, which knows the size of the range, and then be able to use that together with an optional range value and or array index to tell the combined image sampler objects that the user has which new texture they want to update it with. Yeah, I once joked that I hacked YouTube, which was obviously a joke, but it looks like that, doesn't it? It must be because so many people who join also subscribe. Because that certainly has happened. Let me think. So here I add a characteristic to a number of pipelines. I guess this is a good place to get back my unique PipelineFactory / CharacteristicRange pair. And I'm not sure what the size should be immediately known, because this thing is derived from a characteristic which happens to be derived from CharacteristicRange, which takes a begin and an end for the constructor. So the range is known from the beginning, the moment we construct it. Now I have the accessors for those. I have a range width. It's in the number of bits that you need to store the range value. Yeah, it's not really useful, I think. This probably, yeah. I forgot what this was. CharacteristicRange index. Oh, that uniquely determines the characteristic itself, I think. The characteristic range. Doesn't it? That would definitely come in handy. I don't see my keyboard. Let me turn on my lights. You know. Okay. Yeah, I want to know what this is being used, because it's still not clear what it is. 100% anyway. Right. Yep. And I also have a PipelineFactory index. Well, those two then combined are definitely what I'm looking for, I think. So I look at the description again. It says, in order to solve the to-do below, you can read along in the description below the video. I'll need to figure out a way to store a unique ID for a PipelineFactory pair. And the user must have it. And it knows more. We can use it. You just have to make that a new class, I guess. Yeah. No. How shall I call it? I don't know. Let's give it a very long name. I don't know. I'm gonna go to vulkan pipeline, I think. So here's the factory. Let's call it the factory range ID. That is an abbreviation because it's a pipeline factory and it is a characteristic range. But I don't know, I feel like abbreviating it today. We want to put into it a pipeline factory index. Call that factory index then. and a characteristic-range index. The range index. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need a default constructor. And then maybe I will need a constructor that really assigns stuff. Well, really constructs it. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm going to need that. Range index, ding, boing, ding. And then we have an assignment. Going to need an assignment operator. Right, let's return that as a reference. And this is kind of isn't can you not do that as like as default? It's like I think that compiles. Okay, going to need a print. The PipelineFactory index is defined in a lot of places. Application, synchronous window. factory handle. Factory handle has also a pipeline factory index. No, there's more stuff than I want. Vulkan pipeline handle. That's really not including a lot. What the hell is this index? Pipeline index? Yeah, of course, it's pipeline index. Pipeline index. Oh, right. The pipeline itself is extremely closely related to the pipeline characteristic index. Maybe I should add pipeline characteristic index here as well, but the problem is that a pipeline can have multiple characteristics, so that would need to be a whole array. I would have to add a vector of all the characteristic range values. That makes it a bit too big again. Or I could make a map to look up the values, having the pipeline index. I don't know yet. You know, I think I'm just gonna copy this, use it. It's been defined already 20 times. Go to next. Pipeline factory itself is defining it. And I don't want to include that either. I don't want to include anything probably. Oh, that's already it. Just going to add it as well. Yeah. Which then means that, since it is such a complex thing, we need a for declaration for this thing here. And we need include of the vector. Or the vector index. And I guess that does not include boost intrusive pointer yet. Isn't that just intrusive pointer? Okay, so And then we need the characteristic range index header. I see that is defined here as characteristic range of age. Or the shader input. Yeah. Redefinitions. Right, but in order to print them, I really need, I think at least. No, I don't. Just forward declarations are more than enough. That compiled. Bochi or Bochi or Bochi, hello? How do you pronounce your name? Welcome back, anyway. Characteristic range. Okay, so well, this is definitely then a unique ID for the PipelineFactory / characteristic range pair. And it also needs to know the size of the range I wrote down here. Let's add that. Just begin to add it. The size of the range, well, that probably should be expressed as an end. Like if I have this type. What did I edit here? Oh, I was editing here as well. Okay. Isn't this what I'm looking for here? We have a characteristic gotten from somewhere, and then we get the IEnd. Yeah. So that would mean that there is an IEnd function somewhere on the type that this vector returns. The vector returns characteristic range. There it is. M-I-end. M-end. So the I-end here, that returns M-end. And that has as type the index type. This is an int. Oh. Okay, then apparently I have an int as type. Oh, yeah, no, of course. I think I was confused. Range types are ints. Okay, yeah, now then that was settled, I guess. This must be an int. I thought it had to be a characteristic range index, but that's nonsense. This points to which characteristic range it is. So it's more or less of the type of the characteristic range. While we use an int for the index itself. Sorry, that for the range itself. So the range runs from, I don't know, 0 till 42. And then that is an int. But which range? That range runs from 0 to 42. Characteristic range. I sleep Linux shell, yeah, at night. Let's call it size. Characteristic range size, I guess. Should I call it end? It's the same thing. Maybe I'm adding the accessors a bit premature. Because why give access even if it's only read access when it is not really necessary or even logical? But yeah, I don't know. Probably going to need it. Hey, Post Bunny. Yeah, it's all very boring, but I created a factory range ID as per the requirement of my to-do list. And it compiles too. So what is next? And basically I'm reading it again because I bet nobody read it. In order to solve the to-do below, I'll need to figure out a way to store a unique ID for the PipelineFactory / CharacteristicRange pair. So that is going to be my new class, FactoryRange ID. That the user has. Didn't fix that one yet. The user doesn't has it yet. Which knows the size of the range as well. Okay. So the user must then know this. Alright, so this is my new class that I created, and is it correct that I'm going to have as many of them as I have pipelines? Where's the logic in that? I mean, the logic is that I'm calling add characteristic exactly once for each pipeline. I'm calling it on a given factory and a given characteristic. So this is a factory characteristic pair. And I'm going to have my add characteristic return the ID for that, the unique ID. Okay, so created a new class, put that, created an array of those new class things, and we are signing it here, and now the user has it, because this is user code. We know that it's user code. This is an array element of the user class, so the user has it. But currently this is a function that it returns void, so you have to fix it, that now it's going to return factory range IDs. Add characteristic. Must now return factory range ID objects. Going to add a comment first, I think, to the I did not get a color. Can I call it? Oh, I used the ID. No, I don't think that's the way I do it. ID should be a lowercase d, I think. Oh man, I use ID everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Error no match operator equals and void. Yeah. Yeah. Why do I have two add characteristics? One for the factory handle. Okay, that just calls it on the PipelineFactory, so I guess both need to be changed. This must return factory range, factory ID I mean, and yeah, not by value. Maybe I should have it included by PipelineFactory itself. Is that not logical in some way? Probably not. Actually it is. PipelineFactory add characteristic is going to return it. Yes, so this file needs to know it. So the PipelineFactory.h needs to know it. And I'm including that here. So we already have the type. And then I need to also return it from the other one. And now we need to return it from here. They do already post bunny. I mean, it's not like I need it. The algorithm is already on my side anyway. More water for Carlo. Yes. I did shopping today and there was no fruit, and I've asked for it. I eat fruit with my breakfast, and I buy 550 grams for €4. I did that for a long time, and now they don't have it anymore. And the guy said that it's going to go away, and I will reduce the amount of fruit and increase the price. So I probably should stop buying the fruit. I'll eat a banana instead, I think. That is still affordable. I mean, compared to what I had. €1 per day for a fruit. If I eat bananas instead, then I can still keep it at €1 per day, I think. Well, not if they increase the price like insane. I don't know what a pound is. So I was paying €4 for 550 gram. That is €7.27 for a kilogram. And now they're going to change it to probably €6 for 3 little things of 150 gram. So that is 3 times 150 gram is 450. 6 divided by 0.45 is 13.3 euros per kilogram. So divide by 7.27. That's an increase of 83%. 83% increase. Price increase. So yeah, I stopped buying it. Are they completely crazy? I mean, if they had it increased it 10%, I was like, nah, shit, you know, inflation. 20%, I was like, well, maybe they didn't increase it for a long time. But if someone increases more than 80% with the change of package, you know, nobody is explaining it. Everyone just, people who don't take the calculator out and calculate it like me, well, just don't know how much they suddenly pay more. That's theft. Screw them. I did the same thing at some point. I went once or even twice a week to the movies, and then from one day on the other day increased the entry price 30%. So I stopped going completely. Never went to the movies again. And now I download them. I mean, it's not reasonable. People are wolves. Greedy. I want to return here something, but what? I have to return factory range ID arguments. Do I even have them here? That is a good question, you know that. I hope I have that. I hope I have it. Okay, I need a PipelineFactory index. And I am inside PipelineFactory. So that would be this thing, if it is already assigned. That is a good question, if that is the case. That then should happen at the moment we construct the thing. Otherwise it isn't. Let's have a good look at that. PipelineFactory. When is this assigned? Set index. Oh. Yeah, that's not defined at the moment that we are constructing it. It seems. Do it. When is set index being called? Too much. A lot better. A lot better. Oh, not that bad. It's being set in create PipelineFactory. No, that's here. So I'm calling create PipelineFactory, and that also calls the set index. And then I call this function. So that should do it. That should work. Okay, second argument. Second argument is a CharacteristicRange index. Where the hell do I get that from? And also early. CharacteristicRange index. There's one. I think that is the canonical value. Also has a set. So we need to be able to get to it, and this must already be called. Range ID. That's a new class. Pretty sure it says must already be set. Should also be part of the creation. Yeah. Well, if you can find out that it is set in time, I'll probably immediately also will see how I can get to it. Let's search for this one. That's being called from here, which is dang. That's when the factory is already running. But it is being set to the index of M characteristics. So actually we know that much earlier, as long as the M characteristics is not resorted or anything. I think we're just adding to it. It is a vector. So who is adding to M characteristics and when? Nobody. Oh, there it is. Add characteristic. Oh, that is the very function that I'm calling. And I don't think it's being removed anywhere. You just read it, test if it's empty, get the size, run over it, use it. Size. I mean, it's not going to be cleared or erased or anything like that, right? Nah. So we look for this, followed by a pushback. There's just one place, that's here. And then the index is going to be equal to the previous size. And I need it to be, what was it? The type range index. That cannot be right. Characteristic range index. It's a bloody vector of the index. Yep. And then the third argument is the size of it. the characteristic range size. Well, we have a pointer to it. To be able to ask the size. Ask for the size. Yeah, that would be I-end. Like we discovered before. Okay, and now it feels a little bit strange that I'm passing already the index and then set it again later. From the factory, so I think I set it already, like right here. Did that work? So there was a set characteristic range index, wasn't it? And that is a member of the characteristic range. So that would be like that, we're setting it and then it's all in one place. And then of course I do not have to call this anymore from the other place. No, that's all that I just did. So this one can be removed. Already set. Well, in that case, just the forward declaration would be enough, but what I said was including PipelineFactory already defines it, so I think the plan was included. And I did. Vulkan PipelineFactory. It's not in pipeline. This is in pipeline. The factory.h is in pipeline, but the PipelineFactory itself is in namespace task. Oh, right. Told me. I'm stupid. We are in task, so we are not in Vulkan. Okay, no declaration matches. Candidate is, I think the void is problem. You must return a Vulkan pipeline. No, you must return a Vulkan pipeline factory range ID reference. We do? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, the stupid thing is putting the const in front of it. Okay, so we do. Yeah, I see a reference here. I think, what, a reference? But no, the const is all the way there. Idiots. Anyway, this void is wrong. I think that's a chorus. PipelineFactory. Add characteristic. Nobody gets this. Anyway. And then we include it below, we include it here through including PipelineFactory.h. Otherwise we could not return it here, or well, we can actually. This is just a reference anyway. So we do not even have to include it in PipelineFactory for that reason. Let's see if PipelineFactory really needs this. H factory range ID. It's just a reference. Not a physics engine, no. Well, not yet anyway. I see a physics engine as something totally else. Besides, Vulkan is not about physics. But yes, let's say I can call it a game engine using Vulkan or based on Vulkan. The point is that the interface of Vulkan is just very difficult and non-intuitive in my eyes, and error prone and stuff like that. I'm trying to write something that makes it easier to use while still maintaining the performance. Same thing, right? Vulkan. I'm not knowing. I don't know if I'm succeeding, because usually my code is very hard to use, and I don't have time to write documentation. Especially the last part is probably killing it. AKA as in not making it easier than using Vulkan directly. What was the error? The characteristic range index is probably defined in some other namespace here. Vulkan pipeline. Maybe I should put my Vulkan tasks in Vulkan task instead of in task. Or even deeper. Maybe not even a namespace task at all. Error. Invalid initialization of reference of type const Vulkan pipeline factory range ID from expression of type brace and closed initializer list. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. So we have to pass it by value. And then everything is by value. Which is not a bad thing. I might as well look for the type itself being returned like that. Because I already had them. Now, however, I'm not passing it as a reference anymore. I need to change this file. Can no longer use it as a forward declaration. Could not convert task blah 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 I end. I don't know what it's talking about. From brace and closed initializer list to factory range ID. Brace task pipeline factory pointer. This task pipeline factory index doesn't say the type. Characteristic range index. Characteristic range dot boost intrusive pointer vulkan operator. Oh, what is compiler. Yeah, so basically it's a long error that's not saying anything. I have to manually check it again. But I know an easier way. I'm just telling it to that I want that. I think now it's going to give a better error. No matching function for call to still the same thing. Please give me candidate. PipelineFactory index, CharacteristicRange index, int. No known conversion for argument 1 from a vector index to vector index and a vector index of intrusive pointer of task PipelineFactory to vector index of intrusive pointer of okay, now I see the difference here. So here it's a task and here it's a vulkan PipelineFactory which doesn't even exist. So I'm for declaring PipelineFactory somewhere inside namespace pipeline, which should have been inside namespace task. Or not. Where are we? 37. This must be it because that's a new file one. Yep. And then for good measure, we have another one that's... Nah, that's not new. It's task. Application concepts, I believe it. Right. So, added a new class, added an array of that in the user's code. And we are filling it with stuff that we get back from calling add characteristic. So, let me go back to my to-do. And it says and then be able to use that together with an optional range value and or array index to to tell the combined image sampler objects that the user has which new texture they want to update it with. Yeah, let's not do that yet. It continues. Note that on the other hand, those combined image sampler tasks receive information about the descriptor set / binding pairs that they belong to. So that in order to match things, they will have to be extended to include the same PipelineFactory characteristic range pair as well as the range values and array size limit, if any. Since I cannot test ranges yet, I'll implement a consecutive range per characteristic range that is passed instead and set that to 0, basically no range. Yeah, so there's another new class that we need, representing a consecutive range of a characteristic range. Might as well start implementing that. How do I write it? Because I'm not sure. Consecutive, I think it's good. Consecutive. Yeah. I'll also abbreviate it for now, I guess. Just range. I don't like abbreviations. I'm just leaving out characteristic. Maybe I shouldn't. But well. Oh, I was going to add a comment to my new class. Yeah. Okay, this thing contains a range. That means a begin and an end. And I think these values are integers. So I'll just have an m begin and an m end. That's kind of all there is to it. Yeah. Put it in the .cxx file or put it here? I think I should just always put it in .cxx file. Right? Yeah. OS forward. For the IO stream. For the O stream, I mean. But only required even when this is defined. Yeah, and it's dinner time. I can do a poll. Anonymous. Well, okay, people are really watching this. Yeah, okay. Well, consecutive range. I have a microwave thing, so I can heat it up in, I guess, 5 minutes, and then eat it in 10 minutes. I can be back really quickly. It's 6 p.m. now. Okay, I'll go eat after I finish this this class, and then I'll be back within half an hour. I promise. Probably even. I mean, I could be back in 10 minutes, but then I would be eating while coding, and that's kind of annoying because you hear me eat, or I have the mic off and I type slow. It's better if I just eat before turning the stream back on. So I'm going to do this, I guess, just print it. S I always need to include CSLH first. Okay. Consecutive range, print on. I have to print everything. I have to add a namespace also. Let me just copy that from here. Sure. Right. And begin and end, so I can remember that. In fact, I can print it like that. And begin till end. It's a true range. Oh, that's not nice. Let's add it. Okay, yeah, I'll just go eat because right now it's 56% for the poll. Not before it turns around again. I'm gonna be back in under 15 minutes.